Jim Harbaugh in-house, locked down as our long-term head coach, aka our fearless leader. He obviously decided not to come back to the NCAA because guess what? They don't want him there anymore. And bottom line, at the end of the day, this was a hilarious little meme. Thought I would throw it out there. But the one thing I will say is this: is we still have to figure out who the next general manager is going to be. Again, also, when you start looking at the coaching staff in the AFC West, we are looking very stacked. And then Antonio Pierce right here is looking a little ridiculous. But at the end of the day, it comes down to wins and losses. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Also, interestingly enough, we're hearing rumors that Andy Reid might even retire after the season. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But again, Ron Tabasco was not selected as the general manager for the Los Angeles Chargers during the interview process. He's already had 2 second interviews for GM. We could get something even announced today, in my opinion. So I'm going to talk quite a bit about that. A lot to discuss, guys. Let's get into it.
Bull Bros!
Okay, folks, as always, like and subscribe if you do enjoy the content. I'm Andrew Bull Bros. And again, exciting times for the Chargers. I mean, everyone's happy. Everyone's hyped. We're doing well. We're moving things in the right direction, folks. So did a real quick survey this morning. This is really a big reason why I decided to do this video. Again, not a very exciting conversation, but again, we also need to know, where this team is moving forward. Who do you think the next general manager of the Chargers? Clearly, Joe Hortiz is everyone's suggestion of, he's going to be the guy moving forward. I think there's a lot to be said about that. Now, there's some synergies, obviously, with the Ravens. I'll go a little bit more detail on that as well. But I think there's a lot to be said about him being the right guy moving forward. So I'm going to talk a little about Brandon Brown. Look, Brandon Brown is an up-and-coming guy, right? He interviewed with the Chargers the same day we announced the Harbaugh news. I wouldn't be surprised if he actually was in the room with Harbaugh and Harbaugh was part of the conversation. But again, Brown joined the Giants alongside Joe Schoen, who spent, job prior to 2020 season with the Giants staff, been with the Eagles. He's been in the Eagles pro scouting department. He's done a lot. He got to start with the Colts in 2015. He's been around. He's kind of an up-and-coming guy moving forward. I'm just going to give you my general take on him. Look, Brown will be a very good general manager, but I think what I would just suggest is that if he were to get the job, he would have gotten the job most likely the same day that Harbaugh was announced. My assumption is something didn't work out. Maybe they didn't gel. Maybe there were some conversations around, vision of this team, vision of where it needs to go. Didn't quite gel together. Now, today, we did interview Joe Hortiz, so I'll talk a little bit more about that as well. But again, I think Brown would be an excellent general manager, probably not for the Chargers, but we'll see what happens moving forward. So the third one that I want to talk about right here is our guy, Ed Dods. Ed Dods has not had a second interview at this point. He's really one of the favorites for this role with Jim Harbaugh, right? He knows him, has biggest ties with him. Before the Raiders hired Tom Telesco, we all know that Dods was really one of the guys that was, in the running for the job. Did not happen. Chargers, obviously the Raiders obviously hired Tom Telesco, but he's had 21 years of experience in the NFL. 21 years of experience. Again, he has not had a second interview. So my thinking is, he's probably in the running. If we do not get an announcement today for Horowitz, then I would say Dods most likely will get the role. But again, he has a relationship with Harbaugh, 4-year stint with the Vegas Raiders, early 2000s. Harbaugh was the quarterback's coach at the time, 10 years with Seattle, plenty of experience, guys. Right. So let me just give you my take on him. Look, I think he would be an excellent person. Again, one of the things I will say about Jim Harbaugh through this entire process, everything I've ever heard anybody say about Jim Harbaugh, what he wants, what he doesn't want, he has a very specific vision of turning this team around. Extremely specific. You don't fit that mold, you're not getting the job. And so it will be interesting to see. Like I said, guys, if he gets called in for a second interview, I would expect that he most likely will get the role same day. And guys, it's fair to assume that some of these guys are even having conversations behind the scenes. They are talking. They're probably working out numbers or working out conversations around that moving forward. So let's go to the final Final individual on the list. Really and truly, I think this is everyone's fan favorite, of course. Joe Hortiz, Ravens director of player personnel. His interview is today. I think it ended about maybe an hour ago at this moment, so we could get an announcement anytime soon. Partially why I want to get this out right now. He's been with the Ravens by some capacity since 1998, so he is definitely he's known John a long time. Obviously, Jim knows him. He's been a pro scout, 2021, 2023. Look, I think he's the guy most likely. Again, I'm expecting an announcement today. It would make sense that, we got the announcement yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Was it Wednesday about Harbaugh? But I do think that this would most likely be the day that we would get this announcement. But he's been great underneath Horowitz. He's building a great team, drafted some notable players. Again, his best draft ever was in 2019 when he drafted Lamar Jackson, Orlando Brown, Mark Andrews with 3 consecutive picks. Those are all 3 big hits. So, they have a vision. And by the way, guys, we're pretty much going to run the Ravens offense moving forward. So let me give you my general take on this, and then we'll go from there. Look, Joe Horowitz probably is, I would say, probably the front runner in my opinion. You guys all agree as well. The thing about Joe is he really going to gel with Jim Harbaugh? Again, I've said this over and over again. We're going to be Ravens West. That's really what the Chargers are going to be. We're going to really emulate that entire offense that the Ravens are running. So I would say watch the Ravens Chiefs game, guys. That is how the Chargers are going to look offensively moving forward. We're going to run power, probably going to get a fullback, heavy tight ends. It's going to be a very different type of offense moving forward. Joe knows how to create that offense and that offense effectively. Guys are in the AFC Championship game. Clearly, they know what they're doing. He knows what he's doing. So, guys, what are your thoughts? Again, filming this right now at 1 o'clock my time. So we'll see what happens here in the next hour or hour and a half. I would expect something around 5% Pacific time might be an announcement. We'll see what happens, guys. But as always, Andrew Bolpro, see you guys in the next one.